Talk. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk, where I will be sharing my testimony on things I had to endure as a young child until present. And so you guys will see how God has indeed turned around everything in my favor and how He has elevated my life throughout all those years. So come with me on this journey as I explore the things that I have overcome, and you guys will get an understanding of how God has indeed elevated my life. Let's get into volume 3, part 1. Okay, so in my previous videos, I spoke on things that I was exposed to at an early age, from age 4 until, very tender age. I was exposed to certain things, and this includes sexual molestation, bullying, and everything, like physical abuse, everything that I encountered, that I spoke on in the previous videos. These are just follow-ups, and you will see how things are working in, and it will start to make sense. It's caused, as I said before, this has caused me to grow a deep desire for grown men even more, because of certain events that occurred, even as it relates to the sexual molestations and being rejected by a guy that was within my age group. And I thought that grown men were better. So yes, everything now will start to tie itself in, and you will have a clearer understanding of what I'm on about. And of course, remember, I stated that I could not stop myself. So no matter how much time I try to say to myself, Shay, you are a child, remain in a child's place, I literally could not stop myself, no matter how much I tried. The next topic that we will be exploring is when I lost my virginity and at what age. All right, so let's get into it. Whoever lived in Jamaica, or who used to live in Jamaica, probably diaspora who resides in the UK, in the US, in the Canada, in certain areas of the world, you still know, you're still Jamaican. So before you had moved, you probably had experienced a fun fair that kept every Boxing Day in Jamaica after Christmas, called Peter Fun Fair. But this would have taken place in like the country area. So probably people in the Kingston area or so would have heard about it as well. I'm not sure, but because it was a very big event. So you'd have people from Christiana, Spalding, Frankville, Clarendon, Maypen, Montego Bay, Trelawney. So all those areas, they would also be in attendance to this event. So it was a very big event. It was called the Peter Fun Fair. So that would be like the second big event after Grand Market. So after Grand Market, because Grand Market would have kept the Christmas Eve, so on the 24th of December, just in time for Christmas Day, right? But Grand Market was like an all around island thing, so everywhere was having their own Grand Market, and it was a big event every year. It is still going on even now as I speak, in December, of course. Back to the Peter's Fun Fair. I remember this particular year, my guardian would have entrusted myself with my brother and my cousins. So I had 2 cousins that I was living with, because remember, it was 4 of us, but I was the only female that was living in the household. So my guardian would have entrusted the boys with me, because I was the only girl, as I said. So whilst we were in attendance at this event, the Peter's Fun Fair in Christiana, my brother and cousins decided that they wanted to go off and do their own thing. And of course, I wouldn't stop them, because of course they always would run away from me anyways, because I'm like the girl and I'm holding them back, and they want to go explore, as they should, as young boys, right? But anywho, this gave me free time. Yeah. And I met this guy at the time that was living in Savoy, Christiana. So whoever lived in Christiana would know this place called Savoy, Christiana. So instantly when he saw me, it was love at first sight for him. So again, remember I told you that it was like when grown men saw me, it's like there was just this love struck, like automatic. As eye contact occurred, then that was it. So that was essentially what occurred again. But remember, again, I had no phone. So my phone would have already been confiscated from me from the whole situation with the grown man, the first grown man that came with my grand uncle. Yeah. So he caused my phone to be confiscated from me, of course, because my guardian and everyone, my dad, they had found out that I was talking to a grown man, to this guy that I met at Peter's Fun Fair. At this point now, I would now be attending Knox College High. So now I would be in grade 7. So in the UK, we say year 7. So yeah, so I would be now in grade 7. So this means now I am 12 years of age. So finally, I had now become 12 years of age, right? But still a minor. Yeah. Anyways, that same night at the fun fair, I went away in his car. Yes, he drove. So it was a grown man again. Basically, it was a grown man. Probably about, at the time, he probably was about 25, 26. So, and I was 12. So he's still a grown man. My brother and cousins had no idea where I was, because remember, they were off minding their own business, doing what they were doing, chasing after girls or whatever they were doing. But yeah, they probably thought that I was in the crowd somewhere, because again, this was a big event. So the crowd was very thick. So you could barely walk, basically, because it was a very, very popular event every year, all year around. Remember, now I'm 12 years of age, yeah? This was when I lost my virginity. So at the age of 12, my innocence was now taken by a grown man. Yeah. And remember when I said that I placed emphasis in the previous videos on grown men, because I want you guys to have an understanding and see that there is a pattern with the grown man and the me. Yet and again, right? I told you guys that this was, again, the agenda of the enemy, the devil. This was an agenda of the devil to condition my mind to think that grown men is what I need and grown man is what I want, and I should not date anyone that was within my age group. Even if someone within my age group lied to me, I would always say, your lunch money finishes on Friday. That's exactly what I would always say. And it was not necessarily true, but again, my mind was conditioned. And as I said, I did not realize that that was the condition that the enemy had put into my mind until my walk with Jesus. So when I've given my life over to Jesus and he started to reveal certain things to me, I started to piece them, and I said, oh wow. But thank God for his saving grace. I am cleansed, I am healed, and everything is back to the original state before he placed me in my mother's womb. God had opened my eyes to see the tactic and the plans and the schemes and the plot of the enemy. And therefore, we have to be mindful that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers in dark places and high places, right? We do not wrestle against our own people. We wrestle against the enemy, his demons and all of his agents that he had. Remember, he had fallen angels. Well, when God threw him out of heaven, he took with him some fallen angels with him as well, and they become now his demons. So they're assigned to different places, but they cannot operate, as I explained to you, without a body, without a host. And if you give him access, he will take it and operate your life. So anyways, back to the story. So I went away with this grown man. I was at his house, and I recall feeling very uneasy. So I was very uneasy. I was worried. And I said to this person, I said, I think we need to go. And mind you, my innocence was taken at that point. Not at that point, but it was over time. But it had started there, right? But nonetheless, you will start hearing the story more and more. I said to him, we need to go, because I'm just having this feeling inside of me that, something is wrong. Like I got this like this gut feeling that something was just off and I needed to go. And mind you, remember, my guardian would have sent myself, my brother and my 2 cousins together at the fun fair. So it would just be the 4 of us at the fun fair. So my guardian had entrusted the boys with me, basically. Finally, he agreed, right? Finally, he agreed to let us go. And the uneasy feeling was getting worse as we were reaching towards the event. So where he was living and where the event was not a far distance, but it would take longer to walk there than if you drive, basically. So probably about literally about 5 minutes drive, but if you should walk, it would have been like 15 minutes from where the event was taking place and to where he lived. So it wasn't like a far journey. Nonetheless, we were going back now, so the crowd was very thick, so to drive through was an issue. So now my heart started to beat fast in my chest, like, because I know something is just wrong, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was because I was not expecting who to be there. Instantly, I spotted my dad. Remember now, reverting back to the previous videos, I told you that's where the physical abuse had started. So I was getting beaten every 2 weeks after the whole situation with the first grown man, right? Where my phone was confiscated. I was getting beaten after that every 2 weeks. My dad was coming to the house for whatever reason, even if it's nothing to do with any grown men or any men at all. It's just something was always coming up, and my dad had to come to beat me. Because again, the enemy was after me because he couldn't catch me one way. So he wanted my dad to unalive me. But anyway, let's get into the story. My dad now had come off of tour because I thought that he was still on tour. So he had now come off of tour, and remember now he was concerned about me. So every chance my dad got, he was at my house. Every chance he got, he was at my house. My dad was not easing up off of me when it comes to scolding me and behaving myself. My dad was just on me. My dad thought that I had too much freedom in terms of living where I was living. He thought that I had too much freedom, and so he had to come to ensure that I was kept in line. Stay tuned for volume 3 part 2. Thank you.